Continuing from part 1 of the series of gorgeous women who dated NBA players, let's jump right in. And remember, if you've enjoyed part 1 and now you're jumping into part 2 and haven't hit the like and subscribe button below, please go ahead and do so. Let's jump right into a very unique NBA relationship between Masha and Andrei Kirilenko. AK47 had a nice career in the NBA and played 10 seasons with the Utah Jazz. Now, while Masha and Andrei's height difference may be all too normal in the basketball world, the marriage agreement between AK47 and his Latvian pop star and fashionista wife Masha is far from it. When they exchanged their vows, Masha gave Andrei a condition many would call generous, in which once a year he can cheat on her. But her stipulation here is actually to keep him more faithful, believing he'll be less tempted if the so-called fruit isn't forbidden. Plus, he has to allow her the same privilege if he takes up the opportunity. What do you guys think of that? Is this fair, or does this behavior lead to a slippery slope? Let us know in the comments. NBA players latch onto models in the way Freddy Krueger jumps into your dreams. Maybe not the analogy that warmed your heart, but it's almost Halloween, so what the hell? Peja Stojakovic is a Serbian-born professional player who's been married to Greek model Aleka Kamila since 2006, and this romance has held on for 14 years and counting. Together, they have 3 children. Aleka has been featured on many magazine covers such as Madame, Marie Claire, and Esquire, as well as having done a bit of television work. Unfortunately for us corn dogs, none of it is in English, so it's hard to dig up and check out her talents. But we do live in 2020, so a quick Google search will help with that. But with that aside, they are very happy being married, and family is number 1 for them. Next on the list is Lisette Franco and Dan Gadzuric. Now, Lisette may better be known as the girlfriend of UFC fighter Anthony Pettis, but what people might not know is that they started dating before she divorced from her former NBA player, Dan Gadzuric. Dan the man played most of his career with the Milwaukee Bucks, and that Milwaukee connection is what keeps them connected to the city and each other. In fact, she has kept his name, and still to this day she runs the Gadzuric Foundation, a local Milwaukee charity they started whose mission is to eliminate the barriers affecting youths and their families, as well as other charities. From Gadzuric to another foreign-born NBA star, Manu Ginobili is married to Marianella Orono. Ginobili, who is recently retired, spent 16 years with the San Antonio Spurs and was a 4-time NBA champion along the way. With that kind of impressive background, he also needed a personal resume to follow up with his professional resume. Along the way, Manu also managed to build a family with the love of his life, fellow Argentine Marianella Orono. 6 years after they tied the knot, the couple welcomed a pair of twins into the world. Then, in 2014, Marianella gave birth to their 3rd child, Luca. Keeping up on the trend of foreign-born players and model wives, we come to the relationship of Anne DePaula and Sixers All-Star center Joel Embiid. There is no denying that Joel Embiid is one of the hottest players in the NBA right now. The 7-foot Cameroonian has been famously dubbed The Process, and was even considered by the Safdie brothers to star in their movie Uncut Gems, which ultimately went to Kevin Garnett. As of 2018, the Philadelphia 76ers center has been in a relationship with Brazilian model Anne DePaula, and based on their social media pages, they seem to be having a great time together. Next is current Lakers assistant coach and NBA great Jason Kidd. Kidd is now married to former model Portia Coleman, and although Jason Kidd managed to make a smooth transition from player to coach, the current assistant coach to the LA Lakers hasn't always had it easy off the court. Back in the 90s, Kidd tied the knot with Joe Mama. However, domestic issues ultimately cost him both his marriage and his career with the Phoenix Suns. In more recent times, though, Kidd seems to have found a more stable relationship, having married Portia Coleman in 2011, and since that time they've had 2 kids. The next couple was also just as tumultuous as Jason Kidd's first marriage. Jennifer Freeman and Earl Watson had a rough and rocky relationship marred by deceit and jealousy. The two split in 2010, just a year after they married, but they reconciled in 2011. They lasted together until 2015, and the marriage produced a daughter named Isabella. Jennifer Freeman is most famous for playing Claire Kyle on My Wife and Kids. She took it easy after the turbulent relationship with Watson, though, preferring to keep out of the public eye. In 2018, she published a self-help book called Journey to Loving Yourself. Let's move to an NBA relationship that is a little more heartwarming, which would be Amelia Vega and Al Horford's marriage. Amelia Vega won the title of Miss Dominican Republic back in 2002, which she would top by winning the title of Miss Universe the following year. Since then, she has gotten mixed into music and acting, but most importantly met fellow Dominican and NBA All-Star Al Horford. Back when they met, Big Al was playing for the Atlanta Hawks, but he still plays for the Dominican Republic in international matches. The two lovebirds married in 2011 and have 3 children together. Can we get some NBA champs in this as well? Absolutely. Next is Ayanna Cornish and NBA champion Kyle Lowry. The Toronto Raptors point guard Kyle Lowry met fellow Philadelphian Ayanna Cornish back when they both attended Cardinal Doherty High School. It turns out that she was also a talented basketball player in her own right. During her time playing for St. Joseph's University, Cornish was named the best offensive player for 2 straight seasons. However, she stopped playing after suffering an ACL injury. Since then, the couple have tied the knot and had 2 sons together, even through rumors of infidelity. This next NBA relationship has been pretty good up until recently. PJ Tucker's basketball career has certainly taken him all over the world and to many different leagues. However, whether he was playing in Eastern or Southern Europe or Texas, the NBA big man has always seemed to have one true love, Tracy Tucker. Having been long-term boyfriend and girlfriend throughout his career, PJ and Tracy eventually tied the knot and have been together ever since. They've even had 3 kids together. But during this summer, Tracy was no doubt enraged when she saw her man had been allegedly exchanging provocative texts with a side chick, identified as Kiana Carter, and even making plans to meet up with her several times. Tucker exchanged messages with Carter via Instagram and via texting. According to the tipster who made these pictures public knowledge, Carter and Tucker have been seeing each other for about 6 months. Sylvia Lopez Castro and Pau Gasol. Pau Gasol is a 2-time NBA champion with the Los Angeles Lakers. In fact, Pau hasn't appeared in an NBA game since March of 2019 due to a navicular stress fracture in his left foot, and because of that, we have definitely seen the last of him on an NBA court. Gasol, who turned 40 years old in July, is planning to sign a 1-year deal with FC Barcelona and conclude his professional career in the Tokyo Olympics, which are set to take place in 2021. But during many of those playing years, you might have recognized him with a gorgeous ex-girlfriend on his arm named Sylvia Lopez Castro, who he dated from 2009 to 2016. She is a Spanish cheerleader, and there's no doubt that their common background helped them stay together, but they ended up splitting up. But Pau dusted himself off and got himself a new beau. This past weekend, 6-time All-Star Gasol and his wife, Catherine McDonald, happily announced the birth of their first bundle of joy. And with Vanessa Bryant's blessing, Gasol and his wife honored Kobe Bryant's family by naming their daughter after Gianna Bryant. Lastly, we come to Carmelo and Lala Anthony. Before these two tied the knot, Alani Nicole, Lala, Velasquez, was already known as an MTV VJ. She hosted shows like Flavor of Love and played in dramas like Law & Order Special Victims Unit. The two started dating and had their first child, Kian, in 2007. Marrying in 2010, rumors alleged that he had begun cheating on Lala. Tabloids speculated that they would separate, but Carmelo denied all allegations. However, those allegations are true because Carmelo had a baby with his mistress. It was the reason that Melo and Lala broke up for about a year. Eventually, they got back together and are back to being a happy family. But it hasn't stopped his ex-mistress from lashing out at Melo a few times, mostly about not spending any time with his daughter. But that's rumored to be so because Lala won't let him see the child. But who knows what is actually true? Can't get enough of NBA players and their beautiful wives and girlfriends? Then please hit the like and subscribe button below and follow us along the journey to part 3.